Hey everyone, what's going on? I am Rob with On the Fence Movie Reviews, and I'm here to review a movie that I just saw the other day. And it is the fifth installment of this franchise, but it is just simply titled Scream. Now, you have your classic Scream, which I will say right off the bat is my favorite scary movie. And then you have Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, and Scream 5, which is, again, just simply titled Scream. The Scream series, the franchise overall, I do enjoy it. The second one I really like. The third one, hit and miss. And the fourth one I think gets a little more hate than it deserves. But I do like it, and I like this movie. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was a fun time. Right off the bat, we get a callback to the original Scream with kind of that opening kill, and it's very reminiscent. The opening scene and everything. So it kind of hooks you right there for the fans who have grown up with this franchise. Another thing I did like is the new cast that we get, the new characters we get. I think all of them, are very reminiscent of the original Scream, but I think it does a good job of not trying to rip that off, of kind of carving their own path for these characters, and I think they did a good job with that. So overall, the cast I really enjoyed. The actress named Melissa, who plays Sam, I think does a really good job of kind of being the upfront standout role, but I liked her character. I like where they went with her character. For the most part, then she also has some help from Jenna Ortega, who plays Tara. I think does an amazing job in her role. Another standout is, I believe it's her name is Jasmine, who plays Mindy. Just I think she doesn't get enough screen time, but the screen time that she is in, I think she knocks it away. She hits it out of the park. And I guess not a standout, but not a new member, is David Arquette, who is Sheriff Dewey, as we all know. I think in this movie, he does an amazing job. I like his role. I like where he kind of fits into the group, and I think they use him in this movie to do a really good job. I don't think the cast that they brought back, I don't think they brought them back just to be like, oh, let's bring back the original cast from the other movies, and because we need them to make this movie successful. I think they did a good job in bringing them back, but specifically David Arquette as Dewey, I think they did the best job with him, and I really enjoyed his role in this movie. The vibe I got from this movie, I feel like they did a good job of giving you a Scream vibe. I will say this. I feel like this movie is a little more, as far as the way it looks, is a little more cinematic to me, at least in my opinion. You could tell they're trying to go in their own direction. So I can respect the movie and, the creators, the director, everyone who had a part in that. I can respect what they were trying to do. When you talk about a Scream movie, and you talk about a slasher flick, you gotta talk about the kills. I think the kills were gory, a little over the top, which I'm okay with. It's a Scream movie. It's not anything we haven't seen, but I think they do a good job of kind of building on the kills that you would expect from a Scream movie. Now, when you talk about Scream, you talk about Ghostface. Now, I will say this. So Ghostface, I think, is a little different from other slashers because Michael Myers is always Michael Myers. Jason's always Jason. Leatherface always Leatherface. And minor spoiler alert, the Scream franchise, the killer hasn't always been the same killer. Ghostface is Ghostface, but the people behind the mask have always been different. So that's a little different from other slasher movies, but I think with this movie, Ghostface, they do I would say a decent job of playing into the things that we enjoy about the Ghostface character and the Ghostface kills himself. I've always thought of Scream as specifically when you talk of Ghostface, I always thought of Scream as like, it's a little more funny because, you have like Sidney throwing stuff at Ghostface and him tripping over things or kind of getting beat up, and but he still comes back. Whoever the killer is, whoever the character who is playing the killer is, they show some flaws in what they're doing and almost some silliness, which adds to the comedic value of what Ghostface is. And I think with this movie, it plays into it the same way that they do the other movies. You see, sometimes Ghostface gets beat up, and sometimes he does the beating up, but I think they stay true to form of what the Ghostface kind of character is, and I can't complain about that. I like that part of it. Now, some of the things that I just not so much if I didn't like them, but they just kind of stuck out to me, and I was just like, I don't know about that. And when you talk of Scream, you're talking of meta. They kind of poke fun of the horror genre and certain things that happen in horror movies and things that happen in the Scream movies as well. They kind of point those things out. And in this movie, it does it, but I feel like sometimes sometimes it's okay, and other times they're getting too meta with the kind of like pointing out certain things that happen in horror movies. Certain scenes as something's happening, they're talking about it like, oh, in a horror movie, this would happen. So sometimes it comes off a little too meta for me. Not enough to take me out of the movie, but just something where I was just like, they could have did without that line or without this scene. So there's that. But Scream is known for kind of doing that. But just in this movie, kind of specifically, it was just little too much for me in certain areas. Also, one thing that did happen in the movie, there was a reveal. I cannot speak right now. There was a little reveal. I'm just keep saying review when I mean reveal. There you go, reveal. There was a little reveal that happens earlier in the movie. I won't say what happens here. That I feel like they could have waited. I want to say it was probably the end of the first act, maybe the beginning of the second act, that they do this reveal. And I feel like it could have waited till maybe the middle of the second act. I wish they would have waited to do this reveal kind of later on in the movie, but again, small gripe. And the last thing I'm going to say about as far as negativity with this movie, I think in some areas, some parts of this movie, they try too hard to be like the original Scream. And let me just point out a couple things. I will say, like, Scream 2, 3, and 4, they did a good job of letting you know it was a sequel to the movie, but not trying to be too much like the original. Whereas this movie, I feel like it wants to be its own movie and kind of do its own thing, but at the same time, it pulls from the original so much that it almost in certain areas feels like a copy of the first movie or even almost a remake of the first movie. And not, I don't want to sound too negative about that because I think they do, for the most part, the majority of the movie, a good job at kind of carving their own path. But I think they do call back to the first movie a lot as far as certain scenes and certain, they kind of replicates certain scenes from the first movie. So with that, I think again, they do a good job of carving their own path, but at the same time, there's certain points in the movie they pull from the original very heavily, and I think that was maybe a little negative for me overall. But with saying all that, I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a Scream movie. It had the Scream vibe. The Ghostface again is back full force. The kills were gory. The kills were just in your face, and you felt the just the moment of the kill, and I really enjoy that because a slasher movie, you gotta have some gory kills. In saying all that, am I gonna stay on the fence or am I gonna get off the fence? I think you probably already know that I'm going to say get off the fence and check out Scream 5, which again is just titled Scream. It's a good callback to the original Scream. They do a good job of paying homage to the original Scream. Ghostface is back in force, and I like it. And the cast, I think everyone who was in this movie, they played the role really well. Again, the kills were amazing. Just everything about this movie, I really really enjoyed it, and I had a fun time. Was it the best Scream? No. Was it maybe ranked 3 or 4? Possibly. I don't think it's the worst Scream. I don't think it's the best Scream movie. I think it's a good Scream movie. Original cast returning, that's just that that just gets you in the feels for you, the fans of the original who've kind of grown up watching this franchise, to have the old cast with the new cast and kind of meshing together. I like it. I think it was fun. I think it was a good sequel to the Scream franchise. So I would say get off the fence and check out Scream 5. Anyways, I am Rob with On the Fence Movie Review. If you like this review, hit that like button because that really helps us out and we appreciate the support. If you've seen Scream 5, comment below. Let me know what you thought of it. Am I completely wrong? Do you think it's the best Scream movie ever? Do you think it's the worst Scream movie ever? I would love to hear your opinions and we can have a dialogue about the Scream franchise overall. If you have not followed us on social media, on Instagram, we are On the Fence Movie Reviews. Go over there and you can check us out for kind of our behind the scenes stuff that we post. Just different pictures, just different things we got going on when we go out to theaters and stuff like that. So go over there and check us out. And saying all that, remember, we'll catch you on the fence.